Believe in Everything Auburn is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline remains your number one source for all sports betting this season, everything from NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. It's also Super Bowl week, so a fantastic time to get in on the action. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. So head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit if you use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to receive the rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. War Eagle party people. Welcome back to Believe in Everything Auburn. I am Taylor Davis. He is Jason Campbell, and we welcome you into another episode discussing everything Auburn. We are the Green Machine today, and no, we didn't plan it. If you are listening as a podcast, we are once again doing a video element to our episode. You can catch it on Believe's YouTube channel. We've got another exciting episode for you guys today. We've got another guest. We are just on a roll with these. We took a little hiatus, mostly because it's just hard to do them during season when we're having to break down games and whatnot. But this is a great time to get guys on, and we scored a current player. We always love to talk to formers and coaches, but we've got a guy who is in there right now experiencing what it is to be coached under this new staff, to be living in that new facility. Running back Jarquez Hunter. We are so excited to chat with him and have him on the podcast. Obviously, he has made quite an impact in his first few years at Auburn, and really high expectations for him this season. Obviously, with the departure of Tank Bigsby, he's the veteran in that group now, and he's the leader. And you'll see in the interview, he has high expectations for himself as well. So that will be the second half of this episode. We have a great chat with him, so make sure you stick around. But Jay and I are here to catch you up on everything else happening around the plains, as we always do. So Jay Cam, back from the Senior Bowl, how we feeling?
Feeling great. This is a great week. It's a milestone week. Everyone saw LeBron last night win not win, but take over the scoring title as the leader in NBA basketball. Also Super Bowl week. So we got, a big game this weekend.
Jason, maybe that's why we're in green. Maybe it's foreshadowing, dude. This might symbolize an Eagles win. I'm just saying.
I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. You know what I'm saying? I like Jalen Hurts. I know him. We're able to, talk to him every now and then. I know some of the people that work with him. Great guy and everything. Someone that's very professional. I also like Patrick Mahomes, as well. And, this is the first time there's two black quarterbacks starting against each other in the Super Bowl.
So true.
So, that's history within itself. And then on top of that, Andy Reid is playing his former team, coaching against his former team. There's a little inner something there. And then you got, the Eagle fan base, want to make sure that fly Eagles fly. And
this is their year, man. It's also the Kelsey Bowl. We got brothers playing each other.
Yeah, there's so many stories in this thing. It's just and two prominent fan bases, and two opposite of the spectrum. When I played against Kansas City, they would actually feed you after the games. When you go to Philly, they would egg your bus.
Yeah, 100%. Philly fans are nuts.
So, two opposite spectrums. So it's gonna be an interesting tailgating going on. But I'm excited, just a little nervous because Auburn basketball has started sliding, and we'll get into that soon. Yeah. And we got the tournament coming up in March, so
they got to figure something out.
But I'm good.
I'm just look, if you're somebody who believes in signs, Jason and I both randomly wore green, and it is Super Bowl week. I'm just pointing out facts.
Green is money. You might be coming into some money.
Your mouth to God's ears. Let's do it. All right. Well, clearly we have plenty to talk about before we catch up with Jarquez and hear everything about what's going on. It's so funny for us, Jay. Like, we feel so still tied to Auburn, right? And we have our experiences and we feel very much still a part of it. And then I talk to guys like that, and I'm like, I have not been there in a long time, and it's this whole new generation where that's their home, but you always feel like it's home. I don't know. It's like a weird concept to get to talk to those kids and know that that's theirs now, and I have my history, but it's a totally different experience. So really cool opportunity to have the podcast to get to kind of hear their experience with it.
You also realize how fast things change. You
Yeah.
know, like generations. You know, Jarquez wasn't even born when I was in high school. Yeah, and everything. So I'm talking to a whole different generation, and then so you got to be willing to adapt and to change. The other thing
Totally.
is the campus that we saw, or the campus that I saw, you didn't see all of it because
Right.
there were, and now the campus that he's seeing, you didn't
It's
have
different
half
than
of
what
that.
I
So
had. Yeah.
it's just always changing, which makes time feel like it goes by faster.
So
You
true.
know, Auburn used to be this small town. Now it's blossomed into a city. You know, you
I
have
know.
restaurants, you got, condos on rooftops. You got, it's just a lot of expansion that's
Yeah.
going on there. And, for good reasons that, a lot of people are moving back. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, I was looking randomly at enrollment, and I think undergrad is mid 30s. It was mid 20s when I was in school. So, and I mean, I'm not ancient. I'm 30. So like I wasn't there that long ago, and the fact that enrollment is now 10,000 more is crazy. And that's my thought. Where the frick are all of them living? But there are so many new apartment complexes and condos being built, in downtown and in the surrounding area of it. So it is ever changing, but obviously we love to keep the traditions alive. And I think we get to do that, but it's pretty cool to hear from the next generation and their experience. So Jarquez definitely gives us some great insight, and we got to know him a little bit better, some Jarquez off the field. So make sure you stick around. But real quickly, let's go ahead and talk about a few things going on. Senior Bowl happened last week, and obviously our guys Eku Leota and Derek Hall were down there. I saw several things on social media specifically about Derek. He was getting some love and definitely impressing some people a lot with his technique and physicality, things that we knew. But like we mentioned, when you have a down season, maybe you don't get the opportunity to showcase it. Definitely not on as high of a platform as some of these other guys got. So you were down there, you got to do some cool things, speak at the summit. So who'd you see? Who'd you rub elbows with? Like, tell us everything.
Well, it was a great time. Senior Bowl is, you get a chance to meet a lot of different people, especially people that came before you.
Yeah,
I was able to participate in the Auburn and Alabama summit that they do each year. So I ran into Sean Alexander, who actually played with me when I was in Washington for a
that's
year.
crazy.
Ran into Ozzie Newsome. Everyone knows him as a GM that used to be for the Ravens and played great football at one of the best tight ends in football history. He also had, Tony Richardson played for
Mm,
Auburn, played in the NFL for 17 years, was on that undefeated team in 93.
wow.
Uh, Big Willie Anderson, who's doing his thing, played for the Cincinnati Bengals, went
Mm-hmm.
to the Ring of Fame this year for them. And then old downtown Ronnie Brown, Ronnie Brown, was on
Our
stage.
dude.
Yeah, and then I was our next guy. So it was a really good time. Cornelius Bennett, everyone
Okay.
knows him as Biscuit, played for Buffalo Bills for
Mm-hmm.
four Super Bowls, that they went to there, was one of the Alabama reps. So it was a really fun time. We always joan on each other about, they try to say a lot now because Saban has been helping them win more. But I told him,
Oh,
I said, back
geez.
in the early 2000s wasn't much they can say. And I said, since 2000, up until the last 2 years, Auburn has kind of been winning a series.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, it's been a fun rivalry. And everyone always wants to know, how do you guys actually talk to each other away from the game? I said, for the most part, it's mutual respect. I
Yeah.
said, now, once we're playing in the field on the game, it's
I
go
can't
time.
stand you. Yeah.
Right. But I said, once you're in the NFL locker rooms or in business, you're going to see each other. You're going to come across each other. And it's mutual respect because
Mm-hmm.
how hard football is in the state of Alabama because there's no NFL teams.
So
And
true.
people look up to these two schools as the prominent in that state. And so, hopefully we get this thing going back in the right track this year. I told them, I said, Auburn's going to win this year. It's in our backyard. We let y'all get away with it 2
That's
years
true.
ago, but we're getting back on track this year.
It's a different time now. And I think that, you know, both the Alabama aspect as well as the SEC aspect of this is a totally different day-to-day process of college football. And you get into these, NFL locker rooms, and these guys want to talk about the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and the ACC and whatever. I saw the podcast, I guess, that Derrick Henry did recently, where he was asked about the NFL versus college, and he was saying, like, it's a completely different situation. It is night and day different, but the closest thing to it is the SEC. And a guy was sitting in there who played at Michigan. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Derek dropped the score on him from when they had played. And it was like 32-3 or something. Like, just not the same, bro. Sit down. So I think you have that understanding as well, just of like, okay, you played for a school that when the game time came, I hated you. But I know what you went through. I know what you did to get to where we are now. And therefore, you're going to be the type of teammate I want to have, because you know what it is to work hard to get to where we are. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I respect other conferences. The
Yeah.
thing is, when they play us in a bowl game, that's their championship game.
Mm-hmm.
We have to consistently play each other throughout the year, where it's a gauntlet of a schedule. Like our basketball team, these last 5 games for them has been a gauntlet of a schedule. Yeah. That's the difference. So, like I said, it's all mutual respect. It's all fun and games. And if anyone wants to complain, just look at how many national championships the SEC has.
Seriously, year after year.
I would say this, though. I saw a lot of, agents and, representation. I actually got a chance to talk to, what's the quarterback at Tennessee that got hurt?
And then Hooker?
Yeah, Hooker. I got a chance to talk to his parents. I got a chance to talk to him. He's in good spirits. He's doing well. He's there, even though he can't practice, but he's around all the terminology. He's around interviewing. And that's why I thought Stetson Bennett should have went, like, it's so much more than just the practice field and everything, but it's so much as building those early on relationships before you get to the combine. And I think Derek having an opportunity to do that, people saw his physical ability and they realized at Senior Bowl, like, oh, this kid got some talent. But then when they saw his personality along with it, they like, oh, this is a guy we can depend on, week in and week out. And I think he raised his stock, surely. Eku was the one I told you he probably had a ways to go, because he missed a lot of games last year. Right. And he had to make up a lot of ground. So it was better for him from a practice perspective to go ahead and be involved because that's where they want to see him at. How healthy are you? What do you look like coming off this injury and everything? So, it gives him a little bump before he goes to the combine and get ready for pro day as well. So I just feel like Senior Bowl is a great opportunity. I just wish they allowed juniors to play in it that come out early, because I'm like, everyone's going to the next level. So I just like, why not allow them to participate? That way you would have got some of the early guys, top juniors like Stroud and Bryce Young and, Tank Bisbee and,
So true. I think especially with NIL, I think for a lot of kids, the money aspect and trying to weigh your options, and like, we're treating them as adults anyway. So what does it matter, junior or senior? At the end of the day, they're making the decision to go professional, and here's an opportunity for them to, step into that world. So I will be shocked if that doesn't happen soon. I will also be shocked if Derek Hall is not a first-round draft pick. But, barring any craziness that happens between now and then, I think he's done a really good job with both his career and then the aftermath, how he has handled himself, how he has represented himself, the opportunities he's taken advantage of. Like, I really will be shocked if more and more teams don't start gravitating toward him early as we get closer to April. But nonetheless, let's talk about the basketball team real quick. We'll go ahead and get it over with, because unfortunately the basketball team has dropped 4 of the last 5, including last night to Texas A&M, 83-78, with 26 personal fouls. It was a free throw game for Texas A&M. We actually fell out of the AP poll this past week after a narrow loss to Tennessee last weekend. The Tigers now sit with a 17-7 record. Talk to me, Jay. You said before we started recording you have thoughts on this. Go.
we go in these road games. Let's be honest. West Virginia, tough place to play.
Yeah.
Tennessee, tough place to play. You go to A&M, tough place to play. But we knew going into this that this was going to be a huge stretch run
Yeah.
for our basketball program. And the thing is, the West Virginia game, you climb all the way back from a 16-point lead. 16-point behind, and you get all the way right there. You just can't get that one basket to get you over that hump to take the lead late in that game to put pressure on them. And you end up losing that one. And then you go to Tennessee, you play a hard-fought defensive game. It was an old school slobber
Defense
knocker.
was great. Yeah.
All right, yeah, it was tough, and but what has hurt us, we go to A&M with the right mindset. Okay, this is a game we got to have. We can't let them beat us twice in one season. And we went out there for the revenge game to steal one back. And you're playing that way, but we get up, we take leads. But what hurt us? We go into these shooting droughts. And I just keep saying that every time we go into a shooting drought, let's post up our bigs and throw the ball inside. Try to get to the free throw line.
Right.
Try to stop the drop, because when you shoot long balls and they don't go in, it's long rebounds and fast breaks for the other team.
Yes,
and
exactly. And time wasted.
Time wasted. And then they climb back into the game.
Right.
Now you was up 10 or 12. Now you're tied up. And so you're not able to sustain leads because we're not a great shooting basketball team right now. Right. But we have to understand, that's when we got to play to advantage our bigs. Let's try to get to the free throw line. Wendell tried that a couple of times last night. We did a really good job into the basket and everything, and that helped him get to the free throw line, got a couple and ones. But what hurt in the final possessions of the game is you don't have that person to rely on to get you that basket, because they know they're going to try to double team Wendell. Right. Okay, he ended up shooting a long shot and end up, not getting to the rim. But instead of trying to throw it in the boom, I thought we should have done that and try to get him, an opportunity to get a foul or get an and one.
Right.
To shoot an NBA three-pointer under duress. Yes. And, it was the one in Tennessee a foul. Yes, it was a foul, the one that happened in Tennessee. They can look at it 10 out of 10 times and it's a foul. But against A&M, it was almost something similar from the same area of the court. And we tried another long three. I'm just like, guys, that's not our motto this year. Right. We got to find a way to get to the basket, get a foul, or try to find a way to get to the free throw line. I just feel like we're settling for too many threes. And when you do that, you're a good basketball team, but it hurt us. It's hurting us. Like this next game against Bama, it's a must win now, just from a tournament perspective. Last night I saw on TV, they had us as an 8th seed already. They had A&M as the first team out. Wow. So what happened now? A&M has beat us twice, even though we played a gauntlet of a schedule last couple of weeks and we barely lost those games.
Right.
We lost to a team that's on their first team out as they had them. And so we got to beat Bama and we got to beat Tennessee the next time we play them at home. And we got to find a way to beat Kentucky. I think just to have a chance to get into the tournament. This is how tight this window has gotten on us. Yeah, defense has been showing up. Now, the problem is we're not matching offense with defense.
Right.
That's what happened on teams that goes on those runs late February into March. Look at North Carolina last year. They got all 5 of their starters coming back from the team that went to the national championship that lost to Kansas last year. Yeah. And they don't even look like the same team right now.
They're not even ranked.
And you think about them last year, like, okay, when did they get hot? It was in their tournament, the ACC tournament. They got hot, and then they went on a run throughout the NCAA. So for Auburn, you're doing the right things to get you to the tournament, which is great defense, and you're showing up. But we have got to understand. I think Bruce Pearl, he does a really good job of allowing the guys to play free. Yeah. The issue is there got to be a leader on the basketball court that says, okay, guys, look, we're allowed to play free, but we can't take bad shots right now.
Yeah, be smart when you're being free.
Right. We got to understand where we're at in the game. We got to feed the ball. If our inside get double team, we'll kick out. Yep. We all got to take the three. We can penetrate and try to get some easy twos and stuff. You should have to adjust your plan. If you've been doing the same thing for so long and it hadn't gotten us anywhere to this point yet, and instead we're losing close games instead of winning.
Correct.
Yeah, adapt. It's time to adapt and change the philosophy late in the fourth quarters. So we'll see what happens. Big game coming up Saturday, all orange. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. I think College game day is there. Auburn needs this one in a huge way. The loss to A&M puts a lot of pressure on this game.
I mean, look, in any sport, I hate the argument against bad calls. I really do. But I find that officiating is trash right now.
Yeah, 36 free throws that they shot to
I'm
our what?
sorry. Like, I'm not. And it's week after week that there's so many viral clips and games and people. And it's not just Auburn. Like, I'm not just saying that because we've lost 4 out of 5. Like, there is kind of a trend right now of really poor calls. Like, I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's even in the NBA. A couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago, at the end of the game, dude clearly, slapped LeBron's arm. Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
and that's a foul 10 out of 10 times. And I think the refs sometimes don't want to decide the games at the end of the game, but if it's a clear foul, you have to call it. And I just think in these college games, sometimes it gets into these atmospheres where it's kind of really loud, or
Mhm.
but they're not supposed to get caught up into what the fans are saying. You're
Right.
supposed to know what your eyes see on the court, but 36 free throws at A&M shot,
I
30,
can't.
whatever, to our like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's too lopsided. And
Agreed.
for a game that was physical, the way that both teams was kind of playing, like, you can't tell me like we deserve that many more calls than them. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but even in pro football, there's been some blown calls.
That's what I'm saying. Across many sports, I have just been like, what is going on? But nonetheless, we will see what they're able to put together down the stretch, and we will keep you updated on that. Before we get to the Jarquez interview, let's talk about Super Bowl real quickly. It is Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, happening in Glendale, Arizona. Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, few elements of this one. Obviously, we have talked about the kind of off the field stories, which are so cool. But as far as X's and O's go, I think there's some unique, compelling, matchups in this one. And obviously, your eyes go to the quarterbacks first: Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes. I think that Philly's pass rush has been so stout, especially the second half of season. That has been their bread and butter. They have really put pressure on quarterbacks, and they know that Pat Mahomes, look, a high sprain does not heal in 2 weeks. Can he play on it 100%? We saw that, in the championship. But is he full go? No. And where Pat is usually most effective is when blitzed. I mean, like, he thrives off of it. He's like, please, get me out of the pocket. That's when I'm my best self. But right now, I don't think he's at full go, especially in that realm. And the Philly pass rush has just really come along. So I expect Pat's going to have to get the ball out quickly. I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to have a big game because he showcased that. I mean, that game was so freaking close. If he had not had the game he did, if he had not run as hard for several conversions, I don't think they would have won that game. Mecole Hardman is likely going to be out, so that's another big storyline for them. And they have a lot of rookies who are going to be playing on the biggest stage in the game. But I think Chiefs have experience. So many of these guys have played on this stage. You've got a guy like Travis Kelce. You've got a guy like Pat Mahomes who know what it takes to win a game like this. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it will be close at times, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Well, we already knew that, shocker to everybody. You got on, you got Eagles green on today, so
it was so accidental. I'm not kidding. Wow.
I would say this though. I agree with a lot of things that you're saying. Hilaire getting put off the coming off IR, even though they lose Harmon, they get him back. So now you got him and Prosecco together, running the football. That definitely keeps your defense a little bit on their toes, just because they can't just pin their ears back and go after Mahomes. They can run some draw plays, they can run some quick trap plays, quick hitters that hit the defense really quick. So I would say, that's a big pickup. I think getting Juju Schuster and those guys back as well, because Pat Mahomes was on one receiver, and it was last against Cincinnati, who's a really, really good football team. And so you got to understand that at the end of the day, this game is going to come down to will. The will to win. You got two really great football teams. They're pretty even when it comes to yards per game. They're pretty even when it comes to touchdowns this season. When you think about defensively, yes, the Eagles has an edge up. I think they have like 70 sacks, where Kansas City is not far behind. They're like 65. So, they're just not getting talked about as much because the Eagles have 5 more. But when you think about what the Eagles do really well, they can run the football. They can hit you, with Jalen on the edge as well. And then you don't know if he's going to play action pass. They have so many different ways that they can hit you in a point. I just think if I'm Kansas City, I'm not trying to attack Philly's front seven. I'm trying to attack the back four. I'm gonna say, hey, Pat Mahomes, here's your MVP season. Receivers, this is our game. We got to go and get it. Like our O-line, we're gonna need some time because the last time Kansas City was in this situation, they played the Tampa Bay Bucks 2 years ago and they lost. They got after Pat Mahomes up front.
True.
That's why they went out and signed all these offensive linemen, though. So I don't think you're going to get that same experience this time around because they went out and fixed those needs. Now, it is a strategy game. So you attack the back four. If I'm Kansas City, if I'm the Eagles, I'm attacking, the same way. You got A.J. Brown for a reason.
Right.
Kansas City has, 3 starting rookies, I think, in the secondary, maybe 2 in the secondary, depending on if Snead comes back. So you're going to have at least 2 rookies in the secondary. You got A.J. Brown, and then you got Devontae Smith on the other side. And I know you can run the football. So the front 7 is all built on stopping the run.
Yeah.
And while they're doing that, play action pass is going to be huge. I expect Kansas City to play man because they're going to try to get an 8th man in the box to stop Philly's run game and see if Jalen can be accurate and see if he can beat them one-on-one coverage with their receivers. And so I definitely think the game is going to come down to those 2 things for me. But I'm not going to make my pick today.
Why? Jason, we're not doing another episode. Get out of here. Just give me
All right. I go
3 minutes left on the timer.
I go Kansas City 35, Eagles 31. Only reason I'm doing that is because experience. Who cares? Everyone gains experience once they started playing, but it is a difference between Andy Reid and him going there 3 times in the last 5 years.
That's true. An interesting fact, you mentioned the Eagles run game, which I definitely agree with. The Eagles are 14-0 when running for more than 100 yards. If they can get that ground game going, and it is trending that way, all they need is over 100 yards, and they are undefeated. Like that is a very interesting element of this. So if the Chiefs can shut down that run game, that has been their comfort zone that has ultimately led to their wins. So very interested to see how this goes. I'm very excited. I always love the Super Bowl, the commercials. Chris Stapleton is singing the national anthem, which I think like he has the voice of like an actual angel. So that will be beautiful. And then my girl Rihanna is performing the halftime show, and she has not put out music in so long or like really even done music. She has like a makeup empire now, but she is one of those people that you forget how many bangers she's had. Like, and I've gone to a Rihanna concert in the last like, I don't know, maybe 7 years. It was a while ago, but song after song after song, I was like, holy cow, she has so many hits.
I wonder if she brings out Jay-Z on Run This Town tonight.
Okay, that has to happen, right? I mean, like, she's going to bring out people, I think.
Yeah, you bring out Jigga Man. I think you got to bring out Jigga Man.
I like it. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be great. Obviously, we will recap all the action next week, but I'm going Eagles. He's going Chiefs. I'm very intrigued. But more intriguing than any of our ridiculousness is Jarquez Hunter and the conversation that we're going to have with him. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to that interview, and then come on back next week. We will recap the Super Bowl. One of us will get to brag. It'll be a good time. So everyone have a fantastic week. War Eagle. And here is Jarquez Hunter. All right, everybody. Well, let's get into it. As you can see, Jason and I are so excited to be joined by Auburn running back Jarquez Hunter. We have already talked a lot about you and what you have done since your time on the Plains, and we're looking forward to seeing more from you. So pumped to have you on the show, Jarquez. Thanks for joining us. What's up at this point of the year, man? I know it feels slow for all of us that talk about it, but I know y'all are constantly putting in work. So just catch us up a little bit on kind of what's been going on around that new facility and campus, and how you're already getting prepared for season.
Well, I just want to say thank y'all for having me. But we've just been going at it every day in the weight room, the running. The coaches, the strength and conditioning coaches been getting us right every day. I just think what they got us doing, I think it's going to translate to the field in the spring and the fall. And they just putting in so much to us. And then in a couple of weeks, we're going to start back really doing football and getting pads and just learning plays and stuff. And it's going to be, we got a new coach. So everybody learning new things. So I think that's gonna be pretty good. I think as a team, we getting closer together. We coming together more, just getting better relationships with each other.
Yeah.
Relationships is the key because I've already heard that if one guy's late, everybody's late. So everybody got to do up downs, and the up
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
something
I know.
serious.
I know one day somebody didn't come to the end of the workout. So every time we got done with the station, we had to do up downs until they got there.
Oh, wow. That is the definition of team. That would not bode well for our podcast, Jay. One of us is late every week, so it would not go well. But look, I mean, Jarquez, we talked so much about, you know, what happened last season and how it's heading in to this year and kind of what was taken at the end of last season, right? And I think you can speak to this well because you're obviously in that room with Cadillac as your position coach. Then he assumes the role of head coach. And you had a strong end to the season individually, 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games for you too. So when I think of how 2022 ended, both from the team morale and excitement, and then how you were kind of upping your gameplay a level and really making your mark to close out season. What was it about those last few weeks? You know, as someone who was in those locker rooms and wearing that logo, what did it mean to y'all to kind of close it the way you did? And what are you taking from that into this year?
Well, I know, like at the beginning of the season, we didn't really have no energy or
Yeah.
no juice when we were playing the game. And I know when Coach Cadillac came, that's what he brought. He brought energy and juice to the game. And I know everybody just wanted to play hard for Cadillac, so we just went out there and the last couple weeks and just did our thing and proved that we can really play.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you got 300-yard rushing games and against some really good defenses as well. You know, you look at Texas A&M; they had a top defense in the SEC. You look at Alabama, same thing. You know, they had a struggle in the passing game, but their run defense was supposed to have been better.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys was able to go out there and move the ball up and down the field. The offensive line, to me, played a lot better the last 4 games of the season. I feel like whatever happened when Kendall kind of got involved and you know, Lack was being a head coach. I know y'all was more run-oriented because, you know, they wanted to play the physical football game. But how excited are you to see the offensive lineman that we've seen that we've gotten in the transfer portal, you know, that's come in? You know, we've got some guys that are too tall. You know, you got Brunner, you got Big Gunner. You also got Dylan Wade, and then you got Avery Jones, the center. So, you know, how excited, you know, are you guys you know, just to see these guys going to be in front of you, you know, look like big time SEC linemen.
Well, I'm very excited. I think the other running backs we got excited because I think the people that we brought in and some of the guys we already had, I think they're gonna work hard and do well this spring and just develop. And I think the strength and conditioning coach developed them to be better players too. And I think they're gonna do real good this year. I think we're gonna have a good outcome.
I mean, no surprise that the running backs light up when they see offensive linemen transfer in, ready to protect you and create some of those lanes. But you also mentioned you've got a new coach, you know, and obviously what all the change and all the adjustments that you guys had to make last year, right? And then you head into this year with a whole new staff and a new coach with his idea. But we had Cadillac on a few weeks ago, and he was like, let me tell you, this coaching staff cares about the players first. It is about the players and the guys on the team above anything else. Talk to us a little bit about what this new coaching staff has already been doing since being around you guys and just kind of the overall feel that you have with this kind of new team, new age that we don't know as much about.
Well, I know on the offensive side because I talk to them almost every day.
Yeah.
Well, I know they truly care about us. I mean, I talk to them every day. They just so welcoming and they just bring me joy every day. And I know Coach Freeze, he's just a joyful person. He just brings energy in the room. And the room just lights up when he come in. And I think he's gonna be a good coach for Auburn, and he's a good person.
That's awesome.
Well, Jarquez, let's talk a little bit about yourself, man. Let's get into some little fun stuff here. I just want to know if it's true. We hear that you squatting over 600 pounds. We hear you bench pressing, over 315. Give us a little bit about yourself. What's your vertical? What you looking for?
Well,
What people know
I
about
squatted. I squatted. I know my freshman summer when I came in here, I squatted 660.
Wow, have mercy.
And then this last spring, I benched 350. And my vertical is like 34, I think. Yeah.
Well, that'll do it.
And I didn't get to run the 40 last year because my knee. I had problems with my knee, so I didn't run the 40.
Yeah, but Taylor, you looking at a young man from Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm from Taylorsville, Mississippi. No offense, Jarquez, but we have to beat them up in the playoffs when we play together.
Okay.
And everything. You go look it up. 1998. Go look it up.
I believe it. I believe it.
A long time ago. He was barely born. I don't even think he was born yet. So
no, I wasn't born in 2002.
Look at that. My goodness.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You know what? It's
Born.
really humbling to cover college sports because in my mind, like I'm walking around the sideline, I'm like, I am one of you guys. And then I hear the years y'all were born and I'm like, oh my word. Okay, I'm not. I have definitely had a few years out of Auburn. But speaking of, the hometown, I think people have really kind of gravitated toward you're not what people maybe expect from, an SEC running back. You run so tough and you've got that physicality. And then we see pictures of you on a horse, or dunking a basketball in cowboy boots, right? I mean, talk to us a little bit about who you are outside of football, because I think it kind of surprises people.
Well, I'm from Philadelphia, Mississippi, over small town, country town.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do. You gotta make something to do. It ain't too much to do in Philadelphia. So I just go out and ride horses, go fishing, ride four-wheelers, stuff like that. Me and my friends, we'll go back in the backyard, play basketball in dirt.
In dirt. I resonate with that. We're all actually from very small towns. I'm from a small town in Alabama, and people will always ask, like, what'd you do for fun? I was like, someone had bonfires. Like, you go out on the land, someone has a bonfire, and you just hang out. Like small towns. But I think it creates a work ethic, and y'all both can attest to that, right? Like you knew what it was to work hard. You knew what it was to be devoted to something. I think you learn that when you grow up in a town like that.
Yes, man. That's all you got to do is work hard in a small town. Ain't nothing given to you. You just got to go get it yourself.
Yeah, see, I'm from an even smaller town. See, my town probably smaller than both of y'all. But I'll say this. You didn't have a lot of distractions because we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have, the big cities that can gravitate your attention and go do a lot of different things. So for us, it was all about getting a group of guys in the yard and girls. They came and played with us too. And like he was saying, we played dirt basketball. We have to hose down the dirt before every game to keep the dust down.
Get it packed.
Yeah, you had to pack it down. So we from that era. I'm from the VHS era. Where
I love it.
A VHS tape. They from the DVDs, and now everything is streamed on the computers and TV. So it's definitely a different age group, but a lot of similarities are there, and that's why Jarquez is so unique at what he does because he understands hard work and like I said, he dreamed big and coming over from Philadelphia to Auburn. What makes Auburn so special to you, Jarquez? What makes Auburn, top of your list when you was coming out of high school?
Well, I always been an Auburn fan since I was little. I used to watch Auburn growing up all the time. And then I told myself when I was like my 9th grade year of high school, I said, one day I'm gonna play for Auburn. And then my senior year, I got the offer and got the chance to come here. I never regretted it since.
Oh, I love that. And I mean, look, we're talking about hard work, and that's in the dang creed, it's such a pillar of Auburn and being an Auburn man or woman. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Well, who were some guys, you said you were always an Auburn fan, who were some guys that you loved watching play as a kid?
Well, I like the Cam Newton.
Duh.
And I used to watch videos of Cadillac back in the day.
Did you? Had to pull out the VHS, like Jay said, but yeah, they're there. That's pretty surreal, definitely, to have grown up admiring him or watching him, and then to have him as a coach. But look, that running back room is going to look different this year. Obviously, you and Tank for the past couple of years have kind of been that 1-2 punch. Tank moves on, and we've added some new faces. Obviously, Damari Alston, we got to see him last year. But adding Brian Batty, now Jeremiah Cobb has signed. Give us a little insight into that running back room that, you know, is going to look different, but is still stacked.
Yeah, it's gonna look different, but I think we still gonna all go out, practice, work hard. Game day, we're gonna work hard. I think Damari and Brian. Well, I work out with them a lot. We conditioning, we all compete. I know they gonna work hard and go 100% every time. We all compete when we do like little drills and stuff. Try to see who gonna be the first one done. And I know that's just a great thing to see, because I know they're gonna work hard on the field. They're gonna compete on the field when it's crunch time. And I haven't seen much of Brian, but I've been with Damari a little bit, and I know he's gonna go out and play his heart out.
That's exciting. And look, you are going to kind of start getting into it. Like you said, spring practice just a couple weeks away, starting on February 27th. But individually, what are you kind of working on right now? I think at this time of year, fans are always like, what do they do this time of year? You know, like, give us a little insight into what you do at this time of year, whether it's, you know, from a conditioning perspective or, you know, learning a new offense. Like, what can you be doing right now to already be laying the groundwork for August?
Well, you're gonna do team things, you're gonna work out and conditioning, but you gotta do stuff outside of it, like go on your own, like go do go do like drills with my feet where I gotta get better at that, like with my cuts and stuff. I go a group of guys, we go run routes, catch balls, get better connections with the quarterbacks, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'll tell you this though, man. Y'all seem like a close unit, and that's always, you know, breeds well for a football team. Talk about, you know, one more fun thing for me, you know, to the fans that are going to be watching this and listening. Like, what are some of your favorite places to eat at Auburn? And as well, and also talk about, you know, what's your favorite stadium to play in away from Auburn?
Well, I don't go much to eat, but I do like Bumhouse. I love that. I go get the I forgot what it's called, but it's like chicken and fries and cheese with the little your favorite sauce on there. I like that. It'd be
Nice.
good.
I have stopped eating all that since I turned 40, but yeah,
It changes, man. Enjoy it while you can.
And then talk about your
But
favorite stadium though away from Auburn though, because you know SEC has a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think the best one that I done played in is probably LSU. They fans get hyped down there.
Ridiculous. It's a crazy atmosphere down there.
Mm-hmm.
What about an Auburn game day? What's your favorite part about a game day at home?
Tiger Walk.
Yeah.
Tiger Walk. I just like walking, seeing all the fans, smiling faces. I just love that. Just love seeing that.
That's
Speaking
so
of Tiger
cool.
Walk, talk about the A&M Tiger Walk. You guys was, it's been a tough season. Both teams were 3-6, and then all of a sudden change happening at the head coaching position, and all of a sudden it's energy like you're 12-0. And talk about that Tiger Walk of the A&M week.
Oh yeah, I got off the bus and I was like, wow. I never seen this many people at a Tiger Walk. Even at the beginning of the season, it was just such a good experience. Like people was it was so like a thin line to walk through. It was just so many people there, and I was just like, dang. Yeah, it was much different. We was like, oh yeah, it's time to play ball. The fans, the fans were there, so we had to show up. I mean, Cadillac brought the energy.
Yeah.
And we just went out there and played our hearts.
And I got one more for you, then Taylor probably closes us out.
Yeah.
Talk about the new football facility. You know, I stayed in that thing that was a matchbox, but y'all are, y'all are in the 5-star resort over there.
Oh,
Talk about what's your favorite thing about the facility, and what stands out about it? Like, what just pops when you walk through?
Well, the thing that pops out is the indoor. I like the indoor. It's way better than the last one. Like,
agreed.
the lightning much better. I mean, you'll be practicing the last indoor, you can barely see the ball coming to you. So that's my favorite part of is the indoor because it's just much better. The turf is better, and then like you really don't got to lead indoor. I mean, you got everything you need is right there, like weight room, nutritionists, football fields, all of it. Coaches, the rooms it's just magnificent.
Barbershop. Literally, you ain't got to
Barbershop,
leave.
At the barbershop.
TVs everywhere, game systems. Like you can just live there.
They
Oh,
also got the 360 thing that spins around, Taylor, where you stand on it. It tells your whole body weight, body fat, but then it tells you how to fit your pass and shoulder pads to your
yes.
body. Like
They
it's
showed me that and it blew my mind. I was like, this is some like futuristic stuff.
yeah, we're like one of the top 3 universities, I think, to have that. So
Incredible.
yeah, it's an exciting time to be an Auburn football fan, and we look forward to this spring. And Jarquez, you've always been a great person off the field as well as on the field. Continue your success. Continue to do what you do. Like I said, you don't have to change anything. Just continue to work hard, man. You're doing it the right way, and it's all gonna pay off for you.
Yes, sir.
Agreed. Well, we have had an absolute blast watching you thus far. We're looking forward to this season. I am already counting down. It's way too soon. But lastly, for you, as you continue getting closer and closer to next season, what goals do you have for yourself as you continue to prepare and you take the field for the 2023 season? What are some things that you want to accomplish as you continue your collegiate career?
Well, goals I got. Me and my strength coach talk about it every day.
Yeah.
We getting 1,800 yards.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Oh, I love it.
I want to make the SEC team.
Yep.
I make the All-American team.
Yep.
I want to be. I set my goals up here. I want to be high because that's how you got to do it. I want to be the best running back in college football.
Yeah.
This coming up here.
I love that. I love like very intentional goals. And I had a suspicion that you are that kind of person. Very, very impressive. Well, Jarquez, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us. Enjoy spring ball. It is quickly approaching. And we look forward to what you accomplish this year.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle, Jarquez.